Wonderful morning to everyone. So this morning we're going to go over soaping on the cheap. Just because I know that when I got started, I didn't really know the best ways to do things, so I was just figuring some things out. And I figured it would be helpful for other folks who aren't looking to, jump into a soap making business, but maybe just want to make a little bit of soap at home just to see if they like it. It's a hobby. So here's some of the basic things that you need. And I'm just going to go through them really quick because this is some of the cheapest ways that I found to do this. Because, when you're starting out, you don't know if you're going to like it. And so this just helps you try it out without having to expend a heck of a lot of money on it. So for the basics of soap making, you are going to need your ingredients, which consist of, for me, lard. Lard is really the cheapest that I could find in terms of fats for this. And let me actually move it around to the English side. And I just got that at Walmart. You also need food grade lye, and I believe it's sodium hydroxide. So I can't use the stuff that you get in the hardware store. I actually had to order this for the food grade online. I found a big jar that was $20, which is kind of a lot, but this is the cheapest by volume I could get, so I kind of bought a lot of it. But I'm planning on using it, so it's cheapest in terms of the amount of money for this much. Other things, just a couple things that you want is the containers that you're going to be mixing in. For this, this is just the top to something. I got it at Goodwill for 35 cents. This big bucket, which is my new thing I'm really excited about, is I bought for $1 at the dollar store. So that's your main mixing ingredients. You're also going to need a mixer. So you can use a couple things for a mixer, which is why I don't have it here. I bought a cheapo $10 stand mixer. Hand mixer. Immersion blender is essentially what they call it on Amazon, but it lasted one batch and through half of another. So that's not you can do it with a whisk that's been tied onto the end of a electric screwdriver. You can do it all sorts of things. You can do it by hand. I don't recommend by hand. It takes too long. But you can, if you have an old just hand mixer, the traditional kitchen stuff that you don't care about, if you go and you get one of those from Goodwill, that'll work just fine. Or you can buy the cheapo hand mixers, actually immersion blenders from Amazon. Just be aware that you have to be really careful with them because they burn out because they're not actually intended for soap making. I'm not even sure they're intended to be an actual hand blender. So, excuse me. So then what you're going to need just for your basic soap is molds. So this one I bought on Amazon for about $6. It is flexible. When you put the soap in, it doesn't work all that well because I have to stack books up on either side of it to keep it from bowing out. It's actually meant to be put in a larger, coming back. It's actually meant to be put into a larger wooden mold. But I don't have one of those and I don't want to buy one or make one. It's just too much stuff for me. So I started out with this. I actually don't recommend this. I actually recommend if you're starting out this. So what is this? This is a kitchen drawer divider. I got it at the dollar store. It was $1. It's not flexible like this is, so I don't have to stack stuff on it. It's a little bit different shape because it's going to give you a little bit of a different, a more not quite rectangular shape. And it's going to leave a pattern on the bottom of the soaps. But for me, I didn't much care about that. So what you can do with these is actually line them with plastic wrap, or as I'm going to try this time, I'm actually just going to try spraying it with a bunch of cooking oil before I put my soap in and see if that works. Because what you get with a plastic wrap, which I'm sure you can also use maybe I'll try this if the cooking spray doesn't work, but I'm sure you could also use baking parchment. But we're just going to try it without because I'm looking for the least amount. But if you do use the plastic wrap, beware that you can get stuff like this. Because these I made in this. And that is, that's just the plastic wrap rippling. There are some pieces which are better than others. Like this is a pretty good piece that didn't get that. So And again, these I made in this. And you can see there's a slight difference. These are the fresh ones. I haven't done anything with them yet. There's a little bit of soda ash on them, which is fine. It's not like if you saw one of my other videos, I made one that was totally lye heavy and had like an actual crust on it. This is what they look like when you rinse them in water a little bit to clean them up. This has actually been used 1 or 2 times. So for me, this is not wonderful. It's pretty. It's, it'll get rid of things like, that. But yeah, and then and then for these, for the color, I actually went and I used, let me move some stuff out of the way. I used these. Now, these is just a red, blue, and yellow pigment that I bought from Michael's. Very simple stuff. You just need to find stuff in the soap making section that is, safe for skin. And so I know there's other retailers out there. Brambleberry is one that sell all the fancy stuff. I like fancy stuff. I'm not quite ready for fancy stuff yet. I am still perfecting. I do eventually want to sell my soaps, but I'm still perfecting the processes. So this is the good for me. I find that when I first mix the colors, they don't come out quite true. Like for the example, these started blue and they ended up purple, which is fine by me. It's what I wanted was purple. So this is just, the cheap, get you started. And then for actual scent, and I might not actually recommend this. I bought this, again, from the craft store. It is just a pack of it's essentially a pack of different vials, which you can't really see because I've got the stuff on and now it's stuck. But anyway, it's a pack of different vials and it tells you how to mix them to get the scent that you want. This was kind of expensive. I used a coupon for it at Michael's, so it brought it down a little bit. I think it was still like $11 or $12. I don't know that I recommend this because I think in total, the total amount of scent you get or fragrances you get is something like a quarter, or it's almost less than a full ounce of anything. And so that's very expensive. So I think in the future I will not buy this. I think I'm just going to use this up now because I have it. And then I will go to an actual place that sells or specializes in fragrances that are skin safe and just purchase from there. So that is how to do things on the cheap. Again, the only thing that's not here is the hand mixer or the immersion blender. But yeah, I mean, I was able to make quite a bit of soap. This is not even all of it. I've started giving some of it away to family members for Christmas. But you get pretty good results. And even with just things like this, I did this with a spoon. So you don't need super fancy stuff. You don't need super fancy molds. And it can really be just a fun, side project. Or if you really want to go into business, I mean, you can definitely go into business. So, all right. Well, that's enough for today. Have a good weekend, week, whatever it is when you're watching this.